Good afternoon, everybody. It is Wednesday, April 8th, and thank you for joining the Self-Esteem Daily podcast and vlog. We are going to start today's reading with page 56 of the Tao. One who knows does not speak. One who speaks does not know. Close your holes, shut your doors, soften your sharpness, loosen your knots. Soften your glare and merge with the everyday. This is called mysteriously attaining oneness. Though you cannot possess it, you are intimate with it, and at the same time, distant. Though you cannot possess it, you are benefited by it, and at the same time, and harmed by it. Let me repeat that. Though you cannot possess it, you are benefited by it and harmed by it. You cannot possess it, but are esteemed through it and humbled by it. Therefore, the world values you. I feel like I'm going to need to reread that to digest that and gain a little more insight from that reading. As we move on, I'm going to read from Believing in Myself, and today's reading from Believing in Myself is on positive thoughts. As he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 28, verse 7. Read the Bible, said the country preacher to his little flock. There are some mighty good things in that book. One of them is the quote above. The message is as clear and direct as it appears to be. Our thoughts define not only ourselves, but all expectations of what will become of our efforts and dreams. Positive self-esteem is largely a matter of being grounded in positive thought. Many of us are only dimly aware of the constant dialogue going on in our heads. And even if we hear it, we often don't listen to it. Yet our habitual patterns of thinking are the very basis of our reality. Our thoughts dictate the quality of our lives. One walks in the rain, another just gets wet. One prays, another just says prayers. One makes love, another takes hostages. The outward appearance of each behavior is the same, but the reality experienced within is totally different. The thinking behind the deed is what decides the matter. Are we shrinking back or pressing forward, counting our losses or building our gains? Onlookers can't see the difference. Doing isn't being. Only the voice in the heart can tell us what's really going on behind the dancing mask of daily activity. Positive thoughts translate into positive actions. How positive is the thinking that shapes my behavior. There we go. I'm reading another book on leadership that covers exactly the same thing and talks of being in the box when you are only looking at other people as objects to be used. And when you look at other people as real human beings, then you're outside of the box, and the outward behavior that you express looks exactly the same, but it's what is on the inside and the intention that affects the outcome of that action. So if you have a question about what that book is, I don't know it off the top of my head, but ask me a question in the comments and I'll let you know. Okay, last reading for today is on connectedness, and this is on Practicing the Course by Karen Casey. Fear isn't real. Heart palpitations, clammy hands, a sweaty brow. These are undeniable body reactions to an experience. However, our misinterpretation of the circumstance triggered the reactions. Nothing fearful was actually happening. As initiates to the Course, we may not rest easy with this information. What we're barely beginning to grasp is that the outer world is always the product of our inner dialogue. In due time, we'll gladly claim responsibility for everything we experience. Finally, then, fear will not no longer haunt us. In the meantime, if it will help if we focus on our connectedness to everyone we encounter. When we see other people as nothing more than reflections of ourselves, we'll agree that we have nothing to fear from them. They aren't separate bodies out to harm us or make us afraid. Seeing us as one eliminates our discomfort. If I feel afraid today, I will pay heed to how I see others. Wow, when this was written, I don't really believe she understood that a global pandemic was upon us. This book was written, when was this book written? 1995. But how pointed is that reading today? We have a lot of fear in our lives and in the world. And the big fear is fear of what someone else might do to us and our family. They might get us sick. They might continue, the spread of this virus. And we have a lot of anger. I see that. I see that on Facebook a lot. People are angry at others for being out there in the world and doing what those people might feel is essential to their existence. So, and yet we sit in our houses and look out our windows and on our screens and we see what other people are doing and we hold a lot of animosity towards them. So, what is the lesson that we're learning from the Course in this reading is that that fear isn't real, and how we experience this thing that we're all going through is a product of what choice we make in our mind about what's happening. All right, take that for a moment and see how that sits with you today. And if you haven't joined us before, we do this reading every day, and I publish it to podcast and YouTube, so anyone that takes value from this can pass it along. So I invite you to share it with your friends and family, your children, or anybody who you think needs to hear these words. I read them for myself, and I find a lot of value in them, and the reason I do this share thing is so that you all can have access to them as well. So have a great day, everybody, and see you tomorrow. Bye.